everybody, and welcome to the Lighthouse Beckons. I'm Dana.
And I'm Tang.
And we're back for another little podcast.
It's been a while, about three months? Maybe?
Too long.
Too long.
But you get busy, and that's just excuses. It's all excuses, and we just have to make priority time for things that are to do with God.
Yep.
So, pretty much what I want to ask you is, I want to pick your brain about, how people basically won't believe in God because, say, you have specific values and views on life or, things pertaining to sin. For example, a very controversial one would be, people being gay or their children being gay, stuff like that. So, what is your thoughts about people basically not choosing to not believe in God because of what other people think?
I think that if obviously not initiated, you could just look back and say, well, they have a point because their upbringing, what they're used to, their norm, you don't know how it was with their parents and their parents' parents. So now something being introduced that kind of goes against their lifestyle or go against something that they're like, people are people. And I think things like that you kind of have to be patient with because
understanding almost.
Yeah,
because you could imagine that you were at a point in time where you didn't necessarily believe in God, or you looked at somebody who says they're a Christian but they're either mean to people, or even you could take the priests that are hurt little children and stuff like that. That would how that turned people away.
Well, with my what's that word?
Experience?
Yeah. In my experience, I've always, let's say, believed in God at all points of my life, but it's the understanding of it, right? It's how much do I understand? And it's when I first got baptized, I was 12 or 13. That being said,
you most likely did it because your family wanted you to.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's from then to about 20 or 21, everything, school, everything what you've grow up in the church and whatever. But after that, it's a whole different switch. It's okay, either you're not at home no more, you're not going to church, with your
You're
grandma.
basically independent.
Yeah. And then from that, God has always been a part of my life, but I'm not putting it forefront. So going back to your question, what did you say? How do I feel towards people?
Yeah, that basically don't believe in God just because of other people, more or less.
It's understandable seeing from where they're coming from, but to get past that, they can't just say, I'm going to go by what somebody else has said. Because I always say, if I know someone and I'm telling you about that person, when you meet that person, everything you know about them is everything I've told you. You've not...
So you've already got salt in your mouth.
Yeah.
That somebody else has given you about a person.
Exactly.
Type of thing.
If it's on the negative aspect of it.
Yes.
So you're your mind is almost made up. You're kind of in a position of being either having a wall up,
your heart is hardened,
skeptical, and I've heard this and that, but my main thing that I would say is know the Bible for yourself, develop that relationship with Jesus for yourself, and go from there, because anything can be said, anything could get passed down from whoever. Just know something for yourself and go on.
My thought towards that is that as what you're saying made me just think that people are very imperfect. Don't take your view about God because of people. We could make mistakes.
Yep.
Easy. We're all, nobody is perfect but Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And we all make mistakes, and you definitely, I say that you can't take your opinion about God through another person, through man. Yeah. It's, as you said, you have
and even a pastor.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
always
Sometimes
second
pastors could be
check whatever he said. Like if
yeah.
you don't have a Bible, get one.
Mm-hmm.
And always trying to match up the scripts, match up what he said. Like it might sound sweet and nice and everything, but you don't know. Everybody, sadly, have a
Agenda. Mm-hmm.
And if you're not right with God, and you won't know if that person is right with God also. So it's good to be led by the Spirit, because the Spirit will open up your eyes to the truth. And if you're not led, and if they're not led, they're going, like, let's say it's a place where they want money, or they want,
That's exactly
clout,
where I was
just
gonna go.
everything. You're gonna be like blind leading the blind, and just get led to your damnation, because sometimes a pastor or preacher would just want to fill seats than actually preaching the message.
Exactly.
Where, okay, catering to what he thinks the audience want to hear.
Exactly.
Like, say this, like, hey, remember, don't mention the bad parts of the Bible, or remember, everything is always
Just
good. Heaven,
talk.
heaven, heaven.
Yeah.
And like, no, it can't be like that. It has to be
the truth.
Full,
like the
full
truth is
gospel.
the truth.
Yeah. Full.
Yeah. And the other topic that I was pretty much thinking about is like, what would you do if, your child showed like gay tendencies? Like, or what would you, a parent like going through that type of thing? Like, and a parent that believes in God.
Me personally, what would I do?
You could also pose the question back to me after you finish.
Well, in the spot, in the place I am in life at this moment, is always bring it to prayer. And you do, and you live your life abiding by the rules and the law of God and the Bible, there will definitely be an answer in what to do. But what would I not do? I won't condemn the kid like it's a child. The child
I was just gonna say that. Like, do you hate the child for
it? No. Like, the child have
do you shun them?
Childish mind? No. It's like,
hate the sin, not the person.
Yeah. Although that's not technically in the Bible.
I know, but
it's a very true.
Like, we're
I
not
could
the
be wrong
judge.
too. I'm not sure if that is in the Bible or not. But yeah, it's like, in the end, we're not the judge, and yeah, I think I would just leave it to prayer, because if I start acting out on, let's say, oh no, the Bible says this, and like, remember, it's a child that it's in front of you, it's your kid. They won't even understand what you're talking about the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
What they understand at face value is that they feel a certain way,
yeah,
and mm-hmm. say like, oh, can I dress up like
I think honestly it's even like a kid not choosing not to believe in God. Like, if your child, like, that would suck, like you know 100% in your heart that God is real, and then all of a sudden you have a child that doesn't believe in God. But I'm on the same page as you. Like, everything has to get put into prayer, because God has a plan. Mm-hmm. There is power in prayer, and you never know what direction this person has to go and experience to then like reach other souls, and save other souls and help other people.
Yeah. Because in the end, Jesus said he didn't come for the righteous, he came for the sinners. Because those who are whole doesn't need a physician.
Yeah.
But those who are pretty much sick.
Yeah.
So, in essence, we can't then shun people because of their lifestyle or whatever, because in the end, we're not the judge. And one of the main things is love your neighbors as yourself, but you would like their eyes to be open eventually, because God just gives you so much of grace for you to see what is being done before, in the end, he just give you over to your sin.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the main reason why I wanted to ask these questions was because there is people that will basically, because a lot of people don't believe in church. Well, it's not even church, but God, because like the gay people are shunned and stuff like that, and like more or less stuff like that, and or it's things that they think in the Bible, they don't like it. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can't mince words. Sin is sin. and it's what it reads in the Bible, right? Like that is true, but it's how we treat the people. So that's kind of why I want to like ask you on the spot without like coming up with a discussion, you know what I mean? Because
Before
I wanted to get your real
to think about it.
Exactly, I wanted to have your real response on it.
But it's just like the law out there, right? You can't do certain things, you can't steal, you can't blah blah blah, but you have to follow it. Certain rules you probably don't like.
Oh, you mean with the police? Yeah.
Certain rules you don't like.
Absolutely.
And if you go against it, like
you're gonna get in jail.
Yeah. So it's like you have to kind of almost use that same
it's
terminology.
Almost like people with like weed smoking and drinking and all that. You know what I mean? Like they might not like because at a point in time when weed wasn't legal, people didn't like that, right? And they still wanted to do it. And then, you know, you get caught with so much and whatever, and you end up getting in trouble. Now, the good thing about God's law is that it doesn't change. It's everlasting. But yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to discuss. Is there anything you wanted to discuss or anything that comes up now that we're talking?
No, not necessarily. It's just we all have, let's say, things that are probably not quote unquote lawful that we like to do, or pleasures that probably is frowned upon in certain aspects. But when you live your life trying to please God or trying to go to the next step, you can't take out or switch something to work in your favor to keep a sin or to just make it work with your lifestyle. It doesn't necessarily work like that, because it's either all in or none.
So are you basically saying if there's like a pleasure from the world that you like, but it's like sin, and so basically like not believing or choosing not to like look at the Bible just because you don't want to give up that sin? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you can't pick and choose what you want to follow.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I believe
you can't put one toe in.
Yeah, I believe in a higher power, but the Bible, no, you can't say why are you gonna exempt the Bible? Is it because the laws on it's like it pinpoint to the T pretty much almost how to live your life. And everything in the Bible, like sometimes when I find myself reading it, it pertains to life now. It's like it's not dated. Everything is
current
there. Yeah. And it's insane how.
And you're thinking, how is it current when this was created so many years ago?
Exactly.
Yep. So that was pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about.
Good talk.
Yep. And remember, everybody, let all that you do be done in love.